Hello YouTube friends and subscribers. It's a very chilly day at the end of October, so what better time to go indoors and start cooking this year's Christmas puddings. Right, well the first thing we're going to do is have a quick look at Great Granny's recipe list. Raisins, currants, sultanas, glacé cherries, almonds, prunes, lemon, mixed spice, nutmeg, eggs, brown sugar, plain flour, breadcrumbs, secret sauce, which is Guinness, suet, which is something from an animal. We just mix all that up. So I'm going to halve this because I don't need 3 puddings. So the first thing we're going to do is ½ a pound of raisins. So here's our scales. Got it on pounds and ounces. ½ a pound of raisins, which are these chappies. Seedless raisins. ½ a pound. What's ½ a pound in ounces? Is that 8 ounces, I think, isn't it? Perhaps somebody can remember. That looks like a lot. 8 ounces. Good grief, that's all of this, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Right. Well, that looks like 8 ounces to me. 7.1 and a little bit of spillage. Good grief. So that's the raisins. I have given the worktop a bit of a wipe down. That's 8 ounces of raisins, ¼ pound of currants, which are these things, currants. Let's just so currants are slightly different to raisins, presumably they are from a different kind of grape. So what do we want here? Quarter. Would that be 4 ounces? I think it would. So, right, there's 4 ounces of currants. Okay. ¼ ounce of sultanas, which there's 8 ounces to a pound. That is going to be 4 ounces of sultanas. This is obviously a white grape, I guess. We might have enough. Somehow the bag got, oops, yeah, there is exactly 4 ounces of sultanas. Let's put the dribs and drabs on. Yes, there we are, 4 ounces of sultanas, white grapes. I've got all these little bits of change here, we throw those on. ¼ pound of glacé cherries. I leave these out and replace with ground almonds. Okay, the only ground almonds I could find were about 5 years old, so we won't be having those. We'll have the glacé cherries, 1.6. What I'm going to do, I think we might cut some of these in half, so they're not like big old bombs. Okay, so we're a little bit under on the glacé cherries. We have got we've got 1.6 ounces. So that's those. 2 ounces of chopped almonds. We've got flaked almonds. I think that's the same thing. These Oh, these these expired only a few days ago. What do we want? 2 ounces. Good grief, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? We've got to stick to Granny's recipe. Okay, well, that worked out well. That's exactly 2 ounces of almonds. Is that chopped when they're like that? I guess it is. In they go. 2 ounces or 1 ounce of prunes, because we're halving this. Here's some prunes. I'm not quite sure how that's going to help. Oops. Let's put some back. Right, that's about 1 ounce of prunes. Do these want cutting, or they seem a bit big? I think we'll just reduce them a little bit in size so they're not too massive. Otherwise somebody's going to get the whole prune in their mouth. And if you're not a prune person, 1 lemon. Now, I must be honest, I don't know what 1 lemon means in this case. I've got a lemon. I don't know whether to grate some of the skin off it or squeeze it in there. I'm completely at a loss here. I can't imagine you throw the whole lemon in the mix. So I'm going to just have a guess at this. It's not something I know about, and I'm not even sure how you get that lemon skin stuff. Is it like this? Right, let's do it onto here in case it all goes wrong. Yeah, well, I don't see any lemon arriving yet. Okay. This is sort of lemony stuff. Maybe you have to put the lemon juice in there, I don't really know. But I'm just waiting to take a bit off my finger here. It looks as if it could be a bit sore. Right. Well, that lemon has certainly taken a bit of a hammering, that's for sure. Not much of it left. Right. As you can see, I've got some lemon here. I really don't know. Let's do it a bit more, shall we? Smells lemony. Surprise, surprise. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. There's only darkness every day. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Okay, that's our lemon. Right, it's not. It's only like not even 1 ounce. But I don't know what to do about that, I'm afraid. Teaspoon of mixed spice. No, we're going to use a half teaspoon. Teaspoon of mixed spice. Okay. A teaspoon, we'll have to call that. Don't do it over the bowl in case you do get too much. Well, according to my calculations, that's half a teaspoon of mixed spice. And now we want half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Very nutmeggy. Probably just squash the lumps out of it a bit. Yeah. 2 eggs. Have a quick smell. Make sure it's not a bad one. Right, 2 eggs. Next we need half a pound of brown sugar. Half a pound of brown sugar. I'll tell you what we do, let's just weigh that on there. Half a pound would be 8 ounces. Right, that says 8.4. If we allow 4 for the bag, that is fair trade dark brown sugar. Obviously this is ideal if you've got a sweet tooth. I hope we're doing it right. Half a pound of brown sugar, 3 ounces of flour, 3 ounces of flour is the half measure. Oops, here we are. That's plain flour. For plain flour, 2 ounces of breadcrumbs, which is this stuff apparently. How old is this? Yeah, definitely, it's definitely from this decade anyway. Oh wow, look, absolutely brand new. Trust my dear wife to get that right. So 2 ounces of breadcrumbs. 2 ounces is about there. Let's have a look. 1.8. 2 ounces of finest breadcrumbs. Seems a bit odd just heaving everything into one bowl, but anyway. The suet. Pound of suet. Now, anybody who's old enough will know that suet is a thing that comes from an animal. It's kind of the fatty bits that come from the inside of an animal, which was what people lived on in the olden days. No bit of the animal went to waste, and my God, they would eat anything. Anyway, it's still the same brand, but these days you can get a vegetable version to save anybody who's not keen on eating the innards of an animal. Half a pound of suet. Bloody hell. Does it really say that? A pound of suet, half a pound of grated. I put about half this quantity. Half a pound. That's 8 ounces of this stuff. Good grief. I don't know whether you would really want that much. Seems a lot. There's 4 ounces. I don't want to go and cock up all these lovely ingredients. I put about half. You know what, I'm going to slightly amend Granny's recipe here and just use 4 ounces of suet, because you could, you know, I don't know what the hell it is. It looks like goldfish food to me. And half a pint of Guinness. Right, here we have a half pint glass. So we'll fill that to a quarter, I think. Let's get the top off the Guinness. That's the top off our Guinness. Hello, a bit lively. You can see how long it is since I've had any Guinness. And then when you've done all of this, mix it all together. Mix it all up first, then add the Guinness. I'm going to mix this together. Obviously, it does look a bit dry, doesn't it? Anyway, this is Granny's recipe. We get this all roughly into equal proportions. we've gone down the list, so we've got everything in here. Right, I'm going to now add the Guinness. Now from memory, this is quite gooey when it's ready. So you can see that's nice and sort of equally mixed all throughout there. And certainly it looks good enough to eat anyway. The only thing we've compromised on is the suet. Right, that is just over half a pint of Guinness there. So I've kind of got that up my sleeve. We might be able to add a little bit more if this doesn't look gooey and sticky and sort of puddingy enough. It's got a right good smell to it now. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. There's only darkness every day. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Well, I hope you're looking down, Christine, and approving of my efforts here. I must say it looks a bit sticky. Doesn't look quite the same as when my wife made it. Let's have another look at the instructions. Raisins, sultanas. Maybe it soaks in a bit. That might be it. Perhaps you have to leave this for a few minutes to let it sort of soak in. Right, the next thing you're going to need while we leave this to settle down is a couple of pots, 6-inch pudding basins, I suppose that's the name. We're going to cover them with some greaseproof paper. I suppose I've cut that too short. So provide yourself with some greaseproof paper lids, which we're going to tie on during the cooking process. So obviously I've made that too small, so we're going to get some chunky size circles of greaseproof paper, and that's how we're going to prepare the puddings for cooking. Well, I think that's had long enough. Now it's traditional to make a wish if you feel like it. No harm in doing that. It is going to be consumed possibly on Christmas Day when we're all in a good mood and wishing goodwill towards men. Now, to all men. So we are now going to, I'm not going to use this flat thing. I couldn't find the spoon, so that's obviously hidden in a place not for Dad. So we're going to use this regular spoon for this. Now the next thing I don't know is how full to fill these things, whether it grows when it starts cooking. No doubt there's plenty of experts who could give me some advice on that, but they're not here, so I'm going to have to do it by guesswork. So we've got two 6-inch pudding basins. This is the thing my mum used to put on my head when she did home hairdressing 50 odd years ago. More 60 years ago perhaps. And where the bits of hair stuck out, she chopped them off. With the same scissors she used for making our clothes with. Right, if you want to, you can draw straws to see who gets to lick the bowl. Now that looks magnificent to me. I'm just sort of doing this for some reason, so it looks as if I know what I'm doing. So that it's all nice and equal. Now comes the tricky bit of putting the greaseproof paper on. Get some greaseproof paper. The trick is you want your greaseproof to sort of seal it like this, so that when it's boiling you don't get water getting inside your ingredients. Now this is a job for 3 hands, unless of course you happen to be of a nautical nature. You could probably do about 15 different knots that would secure this one-handedly. Well, I'm feeling moderately pleased with myself there. I've managed to get 3 or 4 goes round under that little shoulder, and I now have something, I think, that will enable me to lift this in and out of the boiling water. The trick is to leave yourself a tail on the end of your string. So I'm going to make a loop to start with, but this bit here is going to come in real handy when you've gone round and round and round. This is what's going to save your bacon. You saw what I did the first time. I've allowed it enough string to go round 4 times or something. So that's 1, that distance, that length. 2, 3, 4, and a little bit for luck. Right, so you thread that through the loop. You bring your string around, making sure it's under the little shoulder. Bring it around 2 or 3 times. And then, let's see, I could go 1 more. Then you take that tail that we discussed earlier and just wrap that over 2 or 3 times. 3 times is probably best, and pull it up. If you go really nuts and really pull it, you'll probably break it, because string against string will break. That's got it. And of course, by having the up and over, you're kind of pulling that string up under the shoulder. The trickiest bit now is to find a way to feed this string underneath underneath one of these circuits. Ah, here we are. Right. So now we've got it where we want it. So here again, that little tail is going to come in handy again now. So we just tie that off somewhere convenient. Now maybe we can lift this in and out like that on our piece of string. So I'm going to trim the edges off this the paper. Then we're going to get a couple of big saucepans and steam for at least 4 hours. And that is how we make great grandma's Christmas pudding. The dear lady who was born in 1870. Right, here's our 2 Christmas puddings now boiling away. The water level is just up to the shoulder of the basin. One of them is in an Aga cooking pot made of cast iron that was kindly presented to me by a nice man called William McGrath. And this one is in what is actually a pressure cooker, a prestige pressure cooker. Now I am not going to put the lid on. I might put it on loosely, I'm not going to seal it down, and I might put this one on loosely so that we retain some of the heat. And we can turn the gas back a bit then. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, these two little beauties have been in the steamer for 5 hours. It's now normally you would leave it like this until you wanted to consume, but since we're doing a video, I'm going to open this one and hope that we don't get a massive embarrassment. So these were steaming for 5 hours, and obviously don't let your pan run dry, and the wallpaper's all fallen off, and it's a bit like a Chinese laundry in here. So, oh boy. Okay, so that is a steamed pudding. Actually got a skewer here. I always make sure you wash it first. Oh, that's firm, that is. That's firm. I would say that is beautifully done. Now, what I'm going to do next is put one of these greaseproof lids back on there. Right, so that's a piece of fresh greaseproof. Now what we're going to do for presentation purposes is put a piece of Christmassy cloth on there, and then using the same process with the string, see if we can get this to go around here. Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that reasonably interesting. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll be able to see all the other DIY stuff we get up to. And when Christmas actually comes around, I hope your wishes all come true and that your puddings are perfect.